Hey, welcome to Kaspa Daily Pulse. Here's what the Kaspa community's been buzzing about today. First up, the big mood was pretty obvious: frustration around price. A lot of the chatter kept circling back to Kaspa hanging around the 3-cent zone, with people calling it a 3-cent stablecoin, complaining it still couldn't really hold above roughly 0.031 to 0.032, and arguing over whether sellers were panic dumping lows while others were still trying to buy the dip. So yeah, the vibe wasn't exactly euphoric. It was more like, why are we still stuck here? Second, there was a noticeably harsher wave of criticism about the Kaspa ecosystem itself. Some people were straight up saying major experiments or apps had failed, rattling off stuff like KRC20, Kasplex, IGRA, and even 10 BPS as examples of things they felt hadn't delivered. That doesn't mean the whole community agrees, but it definitely stood out because it wasn't just price doom posting. It was deeper frustration about whether the broader ecosystem is actually producing wins people can feel today. Third, miners and emissions got attention too. There was talk about blocks dropping below 3 Kas, plus people asking when final emission hits. That sparked the usual undercurrent of concern about rewards, supply dynamics, and what all of that means for the network's long-term story. It wasn't a fully technical debate, more like people noticing the numbers and asking, okay, what phase are we in now? Fourth, one of the more constructive threads was actually about building. Buried under all the noise, there was a real conversation around someone testing an internal project with useful POW as the goal. They mentioned Kas incentives for verifying, then clarified it's not really rewards yet, but still, that was one of the few moments where the chat moved away from pure complaining and into actual experimentation. And honestly, those are usually the most important signals. And last thing, there was a strong feeling that Kaspa keeps getting overlooked by the big platforms. People were annoyed that CoinMarketCap and Binance were supposedly ignoring Kaspa daily metrics, even with claims of high community approval. Whether that frustration is fair or not, it clearly fed into the broader sentiment that Kaspa holders feel under-recognized right now. So overall, today felt like a mix of price fatigue, ecosystem doubt, emission curiosity, and a small but real spark of builders still building. That's it for today's Pulse. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Catch you then.